Soul Tribe, family, sending you light, love, and positive energy. Pray everyone is in good spirits. If there's anyone out there and this is your first time seeing me, my name is the Hierophant, and I am one half to elemental beings.
Hey y'all, it's me, High Priestess.
Yes. High Priestess is kind of like, she's kind of healing up her Vishuddha chakra, so she's gonna be tapping in and out. So before we start, I'm gonna purify with water. High Priestess is also. By water, we connect with spirit through pure intent.
Through pure intent. Thank you.
This is a specific kind of water, y'all, so it's, we're kind of trying to preserve it. I was sitting in meditation briefly before we went into this live. And it took me back to the song, this Ashe mantra by Chantra Seba. It's a beautiful piece of music. It helped us through ascension. And it may help you as well. I oftentimes find myself now not even attracted to my old genres of music that I used to like. I see it as a sign of growth. I still relate, but nevertheless, I want to get into these downloads, right? And we just going to go forward. But before I do, I want to talk about High Priestess is starting a series, y'all. Right? And it's called Making Ourselves Available to God. And it is about to be a blessing, particularly to divine feminine. it's so many different reasons that Spirit is not even wanting me to say why it's going to be a blessing because it's above me. But I want you to understand this is going to be a work of art for divine feminine and for those striving in divine feminine energy, right? Man will begin to understand that perspective of the feminine through the work that she's about to put forth, and women will be able to step into the threshold of elevation, which is truly is a threshold. Like, because before you elevate, you got to be refined, and being refined is a lot of people think you go from this to elevate, and no, you have to be refined, right, before you can really elevate. So it's called making ourselves available to God. And I want to spit an insert. It says, submitting to God's lordship, putting God's ways of living before our desires, and living with the knowledge that our life is not our own. I'm blown away by the first line, y'all. First of all, submitting to God's lordship, right? That's deep that she came up with that concept. Because, many of us, we view God as God and Savior. The person that's going to save us and the person that's going to show us mercy. So that's why many of us, we continue in traditional aspects of sin in the way we think anyhow, right? We become unclean. And the reason why we do it, y'all, is because we see God as God. When you see God as God and Savior, you see mercy and grace. But when you see God as your Lord and Master, it's altogether a different perspective. God's lordship. See, a Lord is going to give you law. You understand? Like, think about those that live under the lords of town. Like, a lord is a ruler, a overruler, a master. So, allowing yourself to be enslaved by the divine, submitting to God's lordship, and beginning to understand the Bible from an esoteric standpoint. Esoteric, however you want to cut it. Begin to dig into the Apocrypha. Begin to dig into the books that we miss. We got the Bible. We got that good. Many different versions. Pick which one you want. But many of us don't understand the Apocrypha, the Apocryphic literature, and we don't understand it because they made it seem like it's unnecessary, irrelevant, mysterious, abnormal, altogether a work of fiction. But it's actually more poignant in some places than the Bible. Like, it's a good work. So, like I say, submitting to God's lordship, putting God's ways of living before our own desires, and living with the knowledge that our life is not our own. That's just a good footnote. And then it said, let go of control, right? And when I look at the way she put letting go of control, I automatically got a download. If we put an E on a go, that's energy, and go is ego, right? So it's kind of like, I feel like, in a sense, it's gonna be something that's real marvelous. Like, you gonna want to tap into it. I just want to say a little bit about it. Mind you, it's her series. It's called Making Ourselves Available to God. And I felt the need to put that out there. So, as I jump into this first download, it's real serious. And it's about us and our children, okay? Now, Spirit is definitely saying this. It's time for us to begin to investigate the energies that attack the youth, your own, right? And you may see, well, how do I do that? See, what happens is a lot of us, we see our kids begin to act in certain energies, right? And we quick to take them to the pastor to lay hands on them. We quick to do all of these things. But a lot of times what's actually happening to the child is it's a spiritual attack. It could be an entity attachment. It could be an entity influence. So how do you really determine what's going on? First of all, you have to go behind your child's back. That's the first thing. You have to let your intuition lead you into the spiritual areas. If you ever want to find out what entity is attaching itself or influencing your child, you got to find out what the child is doing in secret. So you have to be snoop, you have to sneak, you have to play by true rules of the divine and adulthood. You can't be a person that allowed a child to back you out of areas of their life, because this is where the influence is driving them. And I'm telling you, Spirit is saying you have to learn that aspect of parenting, because you have to learn how to let your intuition lead you where they trying to stir you away from. Because it becomes, you got to realize in the energy of the Bible, it speaks about children in this particular last day and time, right? Which whatever they may be for many of you, but it's true. These truly are the last days as we know it. People are ascending left and right. The conscious state of Christ is coming back. It's back, or it's about to make itself full. But nevertheless, I believe in the book of Isaiah speaks about children becoming wickedly wise. You got to realize the influences that are over your children, right? You got negative ancestral influence, which means the things that's in them already, the traits, those are going to be the voices that whisper to them. Like we all have them. It's the reason why we do half the shit we do. It's because ancestors, they be right there in your midst like, yeah, do that, right? So it's like...
And then also we have to be real and honest too, you know. Sometimes we have children with people that the DNA just don't mix. And that's real, you know, which ultimately causes all kinds of behavioral issues, right?
So that's one aspect to look at it too, DNA influence. And that's a topic to dig into. Now, on a spiritual level, it's kind of a need for you to be able to see into the spiritual areas. And the spiritual areas of all of our lives, the most spiritual areas are oftentimes the hidden areas, like things where we hide components of ourselves at. Sometimes they very dark, sometimes they very light. I mean, these are super personal areas. So, and these places are, Spirit is saying the inboxes of Snapchat, the inboxes of Instagram, right? The inboxes of TikTok, right? All of these things, right? I don't even know if the children use Facebook too much. They ain't really resonating with Spirit, but nevertheless, Spirit say the inbox of everything, right? Learn how to be one that is that has access to the passcodes of your children's phones, and learn how to be one that learns how to sneak into their phone perhaps when they're not looking, right? You have to parent like this. It might seem shady, but it's not. It's reality, because your child will overrun you if you allow them to. Remember, they you all over again. The way that, Spirit is saying that you will be amazed at how much of a quick study you become to your children. Like, they begin to devise ways of finessing you into saying yes before you even know it, right? And sometimes they push you hard in areas just to see where you will say no at, right? Kids are very wise, man. And like I said, with the influences that are around about today, according to the word, is wicked wisdom. So begin to be one that learn how to go into the spiritual areas of your children's lives and look beyond the veil, so to speak. And number 2 is a download that I spoke about. I made a short about it because it was amazing to me when I really dug into the story of it. And it's about the energy of a woman from the Bible named Ruth, right? Ruth was a Moabite. Now, the Moabites had their own belief system. They didn't correlate necessarily with what the tribes of Judah believed in. So Boaz, being a man that was in he was in the side that the Elohim favored, right, which would be Israel, the Israelites, all of those tribes. He was sort of like a king, right? And what happened with Ruth was God's chosen people, they begin to fall away, right? The energy of the people that the divine gave a blessing to, they begin to lose their way, right? Underneath Boaz, they still begin to lose their way. And then Ruth was a woman that traveled from a faraway nation out of loyalty, right, to an elder in her life. So when she moved with that energy, right, she found herself right in the bosom of her enemy, so to speak. She was a Moabite woman. You know what God did? Because Ruth was obedient, he used that foreign woman, brought her inside of the bosom of the chosen ones, and married her into the lineage of the chosen ones by way of Boaz, and she began to show the chosen ones the way that they supposed to walk because they lost their way, right? That's in the Bible. Do you see how much that's playing out today? There's so many women from so many different aspects of life, and I say women as opposed to men because whether y'all know it or not, y'all are becoming the spiritual leaders of the universe. Like, it's, if you look and you understand, God put us here as men in the 3D to be vicegerent in this masculine energy, right? To be defenders or protectors. But God is calling women to their order. Women were created in the garden. Men was created in the wilderness. It's a state of mind. Literally, allegorically, however you want to put it, the energy of the story rings true. Women were created in a garden, meaning that y'all have a unique composition and a closeness to nature. That's why nature is described as mother. The connotation of nature is a woman, a feminine, is in correlation with the woman. So with that being said, even in the case of Esther did the same thing. She had to go in and merge her bloodline in order, for her people. So I feel that Spirit is saying it could be required of you as a woman, right, to step into the role of a Ruth or a Esther, right? Be the one that stand up and be like, y'all walking wrong, period. Like, I don't care if you in the midst of a lot of people that swear to God that they right. If God is resonating in your heart and giving you the humility to understand it, because a lot of things we have to let go of emotion with, and that's one. If God is telling you you right in your heart, first you gotta separate how you feel about sister so-and-so or brother so-and-so or however it may be, right? And see for real, like, if you can really identify your emotion as being above that, that's God reaching you. Like, if I can look at somebody and say, look, this really ain't about how I feel about you. This is about what God is telling me, right? It doesn't even matter how they feel anymore. As long as you walk in that truth, and that's something that the world is beginning to learn. And that's a frequency that I feel is becoming potent. Authenticity. People are learning like, yo, if I be authentically me, I'm good out here. And you are. You are. Like Spirit is definitely saying that vibration is stronger than the vibration of love in regards to man. Like, if you are a person in your heart, you feel God. You feel God so much that you see the wrong in people who profess to be godly, and you don't even mean to. You just see it because your proximity to the Most High is that strong. It reveals things to you. See, people that see like that, they walk away from circles and they walk quiet. When you feel that way, I feel that now is a time for you to speak up. Don't be a person that walk around and just, all right, Spirit is saying, why would I allow any other man to put me out of alignment with God? If God is telling you to do something, do what God is telling you. Don't do what a man is telling you to do. Spirit could be urging you to shift the way you eat. Temper yourself drastic dietary changes can be hard on the body and hard to maintain. So I feel like, I know with me, it's funny that I wrote, because half time I don't remember what I write. I'm actually going through this now. Like, I put myself through a drastic dietary change. But Spirit is saying, when we do this, learn how to temper yourself. Because it can be hard on the body when you just give up certain things and start eating other things. And not to mention, it can be hard to maintain. And sometimes that can do more damage. Like if you start your body going in one way and then you do a shift back with the way you're eating, it can cause problems, particularly the older you get, right? Like, so even though you feel Spirit urging you to shift, use temperance with it. Like, I guess start off eating lesser. The next download was kind of, it's been frequent, right? I can say. And Spirit is saying, tap into your quantum energy. There are many realms existing at once. There are many realities of you existing at once. And a lot of people, they be finding like, when I start talking like this, they think it's hard, but it's not hard. It's basically like that. You see yourself as being a certain way. And perhaps you know there's more out here for you. You know you better than how you living. Or you know that the divine has got more for you. You know that you ain't you. You ain't been the you that you know in your heart you was born to be. You can't maximize your potential. It lies in your ability to tap into quantum energy. And you have to realize it requires alchemy, y'all. Like, it requires you to be willing to really give up something.
Manifest.
You gotta get in alignment. It's like, all right, it's like, pen this. I remember one time I was catching this bus. It's called the number 10. It used to be called the number 10 of Bullneck, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody know this bus. You should ride all over town. Mm-hmm. So
number 10. Boy, oh boy.
Boy, you know.
Man, me and Shanique used to fucking make us bus passes. We used to take the numbers and we used to glue them on.
Oh, and sneak on the number 10 of Bullneck.
Sneak on the number 10.
And look, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I hated the bus so much.
Cousin, yo, that's wild.
I hated the 10 of Bullneck so much as a child that when I got my daughter, I vowed to never ride. I went hard to make sure I had some type of vehicle.
You heard me.
The person I was with had a vehicle. Because I was determined not to be on the 10 of Bullneck again.
I'm
right?
like, yo, I can't do this. I gotta have a car.
But nevertheless, I remember being older.
It took a long time to get back to Dundalk on that bus. From all the way where I be coming from.
I remember being older and waiting on the 10 of Bullneck, right? And I was down somewhere. I think I might have been over. Well, I don't really know West Baltimore too. More of an East Baltimore baby.
See, it was far.
So I was over west, right? So I went and got something out the market, and I ran out, and I'm looking at the number 10, but I'm thinking this goes this way, right? So I'm in the right spot to get the 10.
You do something slick.
So I post up, start eating. So here come the 10, and it been the corner fast. So I'm on the wrong side, right? I miss it. I look down, the next one ain't coming for an hour, right? And I say that to say, in regards to quantum energy, right? You gotta be where the 10 run at, right? Like with your frequency level, when you trying to manifest the you that you know you are, you gotta begin to move towards that frequency.
That's right.
Like, if you know, if like, just say you want to be a person that do things with your hands. Are you living in such a way where your hands gonna be healthy, right? Say you want to do things that require you to use your lungs and your vocal cords. Are you living in such a way where these things are healthy? Mm-hmm. Because if you're not, you gotta align yourself to get that.
That's real.
You ain't gonna be ready to get it. I made a post on Facebook today, and it says something to the effect of, You know, when you walk in energy that you didn't make the necessary sacrifices to get, the universe gonna yank you out of there by way of testing. One test gonna prove you fraudulent because you can't walk in energies that you didn't make sacrifices to walk in. That's stealing from the universe, and there's many people that do it. So about these realities of you that exist, you have to make sure they realities, right? You know what we get caught up in doing? We get prefixations of celebrities or rhythms or tempos, genders, not genders, trends, I mean. We get prefixations with all these things, and then we try to follow them, right? And then we never really embrace the realities of we can't maximize our potential because we living outside of what our realities are. A lot of us do it. Like, for instance, imagine the minister imagine the boy that was born with a gift for ministry, but he want to keep writing rap songs about bitches and hoes, right? And he can't realize, why can't I start rapping about this? It's because you got a gift that's trying to make it a way for itself. And because you won't change the pattern of your thought process, the only thing that you're getting out of your gift is bitches and hoes. But God really gave you the energy to reach a nation. That's that kind of energy, right? So, bitches and hoes ain't nobody reality. It's not, right? So it's like, let's embrace the realities, they saying. Let's learn what quantum energy is. Let's begin to look at it like, wow, you have these things in you. We all do. This knowingness about who you're supposed to be, right? And it may be so hard to get there, right? Because you just trapped in the reality you created, right? It's like I'm saying a woman that's working at Family Dollar or retail, right? And you just always got trouble with the store managers everywhere you work because your destined reality is to be seen by people and reached by people, right? But this the thing I'm trying to tell you about quantum energy. Instead of you realizing at that Family Dollar level that your gift is to reach people, start reaching. But see, you on the phone, you prefixated with your destiny and where you at in your reality. And you got all of the social media control observations blocking you, right? The minute you put the phone down and start reaching, the universe going to start making a way right out of there. Why? Because that reality of you exists. The you who you know you are, it exists. We know who we are. We know who we not. We know when we out here doing something that it ain't got nothing to do with our maximum potential. We just don't. Our maximum potential. We just doing it. All right? So, get with it. And the ancestral mother Gaia, energy, very present and abundant in this world right now. This is the mother, a mothering spirit. Like, one thing I can say about the name Gaia and the energy of Gaia, it's warm in here. Is the heat on or something? Pull that up.
You cut the air on?
That's what's on.
I cut it off.
Oh yeah, it's hot in here. Raise that up. Raise that up. This one I cut the AC off. I'm sitting in here like, what's going on in here? It's cooking in here. Okay, back to what I was just saying. This ancestral energy, Mother Gaia, that's abundant. Gaia represents her energy that is a feminine, let's just say in the spirit realm, all deities respect Gaia. I don't care what pantheon you coming from. You could be coming from anyone you want to choose, right? Energy of Mother Gaia is Mother Earth energy. I know I worked with her the other day, and I had a wonderful time out in nature. Yeah, like, we had a wonderful time out there. So learn how to look at it like that. Like, these are the energies that work with you, right? And another thing I want to say before I tap out this message. Divine being, make sure that you clean and you clear in your mind. Because a lot of people, they're going to try to come and test you with the energy of, oh, you awkward, or oh, you crazy. No, you're not crazy. You're perfectly in line with your intuition. You know what's going on. And it's you getting information from source. Right? For people who striving, I mean, you got those that get their information from other places, but be confident in your stride, because that's what this is all about. That's what embracing your North Node is all about. That's what embracing your esoteric understanding is all about, right? People say, you know, when you're dealing with religion and you're dealing with spirituality, why do people feel as though you have to forget God in order to step into spirituality?
I don't understand it.
That's retarded. And you looking for something that's not there. You know God by the way you was taught God.
Spirituality is a deeper level of God for me.
There, she just said it. Spirituality is a esoteric level of God. Whoever you was taught as God, who served you as God your whole life, that's your God. Nobody can unlearn you. The relationship, see, people, that's what they do. It's like you forsake the relationship with the God you know in order to run around and do what? Do you know if you secure with your God, you can work with any deity you want? Because you're going to worship the God of your heart, the God of your understanding. If you reverence that God, that gives you authority to work with other deities, right? You're supposed to reserve your worship to who your God, and your God supposed to be your God. Whether you reveal his name, or whether you reveal her name, or whether you don't, right? That's an energy that's personal. And that's the thing that people don't realize. See, you got people out here, they attacking people spiritually because they don't understand the God that they serve.
That's real.
That's retarded.
That's real.
You line yourself up to get struck down. If a man profess something from that spirit realm to be his God, it behoove you to leave it alone. Because you don't know, we walk around with the attitude. That was one thing I kind of am glad I let go of my past life. I used to walk around under the energy like, I know who God is, this, that. Now, let me explain something to you. We don't know the half of that spirit realm. You step into that spirit realm, man, you don't know who walking with who. You don't know what energy is what energy. You know, we caught up on the names of things. There's a whole different thing that goes on in that realm. So, I just kind of feel like it's about it. Like, kind of try to keep the channel open just to see what's going on. Because a lot of this stuff is what we get from y'all. What I've learned, y'all, and this can help somebody. When you're dealing with these gifts or you're ascending, it requires discipline. And one of the most important things, I ain't gonna say the most, is to learn how to determine what's your energy and what's not. Because when you walk, your thoughts are not your own, right? It's a collective. So just know that. Like, your emotions as an empath, you could be feeling what somebody else feeling. And it don't even have to be your energy. And you could be stuck right in it, a whole funk, right? Because you're that empathetic.
It's like the energy of you know, watching a Lifetime movie and something happening and you being able to be in tune with that emotion that that person is feeling
Yes.
during the movie, like when a person is sad or, you know, expressing grief or whatever, it's like that energy. You're able to you're able to feel that same grief when you're empathetic, right? Hence why you would cry when you watch certain movies. Right?
And that's why I notice a lot of women be watching Lifetime. Because, and I tried to watch a couple Lifetime movies, but they seemed like they was old. And I pretty much was in my master's, so it's like, man, I can't really get with this shit. Like, it's cool, but boom, boom. But I noticed, like...
Well, think about any movie where, like, you know, think about any movie that really, like, made you in your emotions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever movie it could be.
When I was young, I had a movie, it was
Free
called...
Willy or some shit.
It was called Stand By Me.
Stand By Me.
Yeah, I used to, I don't know, I used to cry when I watched that movie. All the
I like,
time.
that just made me think of Lean on Me. I don't know why.
Oh, and I got another one. Pen this one. You remember that movie Titanic?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, let me tell you though about this. This the funniest shit. When I first saw that movie, no lie, I was on a bit. I was in jail. It was like 50 niggas. That was the movie for the night, the Titanic.
Titanic.
Yo, at the end of the movie, niggas was like, yo, I'm gonna go on myself and see them up. Like that movie made grown men cry. Like
you ever seen you know a movie that made me cry? Halle Berry losing Isaiah.
Yeah, about
the little boy.
The little boys. Yeah.
So it's like that kind of energy. You know, when you're empathetic, you can feel the emotions of other individuals, right?
I cried in Star Wars when the Force killed Yoda off that. When I was young and they killed Yoda off, I was hurt about that. Like, he came back in the next one, though. But they killed Yoda off. Hurt my feelings when I was young. Man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, y'all. That's about it. Like, I feel like...
Y'all see I'm trying to push through my into G.
She laid back. Soupy. I don't know, y'all. It's crazy out here.
It is.
It's crazy. You know, a lot of crazy work out here.
You know, even though it's so crazy, though, you know, I feel like God always gives us a reminder that there are also, there are some divine beings out here in these streets, period. You know, and I feel like every day we go out and we encounter one, and I love that about God because, you know, it can become very difficult when you are on a mission and it's so much reckless shit going on everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
So to, you know, be able to go out and still see that, you know, there are humans that are decent out here. It's beautiful because there's a lot of wretched shit going on too, you know?
I mean, one thing I can say, and thank you, Spirit, one thing that's increasing the vibration on the planet is truth. Like the truth tellers, it's becoming infectious. Like, it's almost like when you got a lot of people lying, it becomes easier to lie. The energy is abundant. When people begin to tell the truth, right, it has, the truth has the kind of results that may shock you sometimes. Like, when you're dealing with the energy of the truth. So as the planet begins to tell the truth, you see empires begin to crumble.
So let me ask you something. What do you see happening from now until the new year?
Well, I definitely see a paradigm shift.
Okay.
And I mean, when I say that, I feel like you know, I feel like an era is going to end.
Okay.
Right? And you know what era that is? Sad to say, it's an era that I'm related to, but the influences that ran the cultures, hip hop per se, and some pop, out of the rubble is going to emerge a genre of truth tellers. You know why? Because darkness had its day. And I believe that all of those energies, like, see, when I look at Diddy, I look at the thing that happened with him as being just a beginning of you know, with the death card. The death card, right. You said the tower. I look at it as a death card. It's the ending of a cycle and the beginning of another. And I believe that the things and people and persons and places that came under the influence of that whole, whatever you want to call it.
That's real, because like right now would be like the tower energy. We're in the tower energy right now, like where, you know, things are just crumbling, period, in the world. I feel like a lot of entities, organizations and things just are being revealed, thank God,
But you know, one of the things, and I also do see another thing, Spirit is telling me to say it, so I'm going to say it. I feel that people are going to leave behind the culture and era of hidden sexuality. Like, you know how, like, let's say in that industry, it was so much hidden homosexuality and so much masculine projection. Mm-hmm. That's why niggas was getting killed and locked up, because it was an illusion. Mm-hmm. It's like you got this tough guy image with the Timberland boots or whatever, but this man is willing to bend over and compromise himself. And so what are you really, what's in the image that you're chasing, right? But I believe that now people are going to become more honest with their sexuality, because people are going to realize that religion made them hide. Yeah. No lie. I feel Spirit is saying religion is responsible, is the beginning of that. Like, because a lot of people, they deal with sexual urges and desires in their youth, right? And they come up in religions or religious families or families that's headed by religions that, and they order, you know, the order of them type of families is to be ashamed and dissuaded by that kind of thing, particularly from men. So men have a tendency to hide it where women can embrace it, right? Which women have a rightness for embracing it, but it's displaced. So I feel like with men now, men are beginning to understand even the divine feminine aspect of life. Like, you know, where people had to hide away, so they now coming out of those hidden places, right? And what I think that that's doing is actually increasing the vibration of the planet, because it's honesty. That's the thing about it. Yo, truth, it don't matter what type of way you lay truth out. If it's truth and it's honesty and it's authentic, God is in it. Whatever it is, if it's honest and it's authentic, God is in it. And I think that the universe is teaching us how to view things the proper way. So that's making people become... see, when people become honest, it's nothing else that can be hidden. Mm-hmm. Right? And I look at... you know, I be looking at, I'm just like y'all, I be looking at the shorts and what they saying on everything. I've learned not to comment, and I've learned to reserve my laughter to myself, right? Or however I feel. But I watch certain people put their spirits on display on social media. Man, I heard this boy get on social media and say Mary Magdalene was Jesus' mother, right? And I say that to say the energy he was speaking from was so confused that I was looking at him like he has a lot of secrets that he hid away. And that's spiritual things, y'all. That's why it's not good to do that, right? You know, if you witness something real evil and you lock it away and you never reveal it by way of confession about it, or you never do anything about it, that's like festering a demon in your heart. Next thing you know, you fester enough of them away, you drinking because you can't help it. You getting high because you can't help it. It's a time, like I said, man, cleanse it out. That's what I feel like. You ask me what I feel like is going to happen from now until the end of the year. Being always tapped in, a major cleansing. That's what I feel Spirit coming through with. A major cleansing, right? And that's why I've been feeling the auric field of purple lately. I've been speaking about purple. Or the auric field of purple is it's empowerment, it's strength, and it's elevating into one's higher self, and it's royalty. But one of the most important aspects of the purple auric field is it's a person that's using their gift for the good of humanity. That's what your auric field shows out, right? It shows out as purple, in case you ain't know. So let's keep this goodness going on, y'all. Like, see, I can rest in this energy and keep going. I'ma tap out, but I'd rather have this than the energy where I'm sitting up here and I'm just like nobody's listening, right? I feel that y'all being very receptive. I feel like it's good. It's working out for you in your life. So with that being said, I'm about to tap off and go get me a cinnamon bun. I can't lie. I've been doing good, y'all. No red meat. She been doing good. She been off meat, right? And